Welcome to this week's episode of Press X the podcast. I am your host Benji, and these are my two co-hosts, Alex and the impeccable Stevie.
Oh, fuck you
thank
then.
Well, usually we dump on Stevie, so I
Yeah.
thought it would be a good
Yeah, you need to
idea
compensate a bit.
Oh, you're just going to break the tradition like that? Okay, I see you.
Well, so this week's episode is going to be a bit different. We have talked about the format we're doing right now, and we decided to do some changes, try some stuff. We just want to make clear that we don't want the podcast to have a too rigid of a structure, so we can try out different things. It's not going to be much different. We just decided to split episodes into anime and gaming episodes separately, because we thought it would be a better idea, and it would also lead to more compact episode probably.
Yeah.
I think it would maybe, if you have any suggestions on how we should do things, or how you as the viewer think we should structure the podcast, or what you like, feel free to leave comments about how you feel about the new structure. But yeah, we're just gonna do this, and we'll evaluate and think about it at a later point. So yeah, this week is gonna be we decided it to be an anime episode.
Yeah.
And actually, I think, Alex, you're the one that watched the most stuff.
Yo,
this
I
week.
grinded so much this week. I think I grinded more than every other week of this year. I read five mangas and 5 anime. I caught up to date to the seasonal stuff. But before we continue, since we were on the topic of comments, by now the real life special should have aired. So also let us know what you think about the real life special. And we are planning to introduce a comment section segment at the beginning of every episode. So your comment matters, and if you have any other questions, just let us know. We want to, get more in touch with the community, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That would
You
be
guys are
fantastic.
important to us. So
We
let
love you guys.
Let your voice be heard.
Yeah. We'll give a Patreon shout out, even though we have no Patreon.
Well, we have Manu. I want to give a shout out to Manu, a good friend of mine who's been a constant viewer so far, and so that's your Patreon shout out right there.
Yeah, I love you, Manu. Thank you for joining us on this adventure of anime and games.
He said he usually listens to this while he does his
laundry.
not the dishes. Yeah, the laundry. Exactly.
Fantastic. We give him some good ass laundry hanging material. Yeah.
It's the clean podcast helps cleaning the laundry as well.
I don't know if the hentai segment on episode 3 was that clean. I imagine if he had it on full speakers, that would be a bit embarrassing. But otherwise, we're good.
Press X to clean cast.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to start with something? Because you have the most stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I got some videos planned as well, so I don't want to spoil stuff about the videos. But I think I want to begin with something more recent. So I don't know if you guys... I mean, Penny knows it, but I don't know if he remembers it as vividly. But there was this anime. It's titled How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?
Oh, of course.
You remember that from 2019?
Yeah, I do remember that. I didn't watch it, but I remember it.
So yeah, before I talk about what the anime is about, if you haven't guessed it from the title, I started doing exercising again, and getting into sports, just building endurance and stuff like that. And I wanted.
He's a healthy boy. He's the healthiest out of all of us.
I don't look that healthy, but I want to look as healthy as you guys, so I'm trying to be healthy. I don't have the metabolism. The genes have not that.
just
We're
have
only
the
lucky.
genes,
Yeah.
He puts in the work. We're just lazy fucks and got lucky.
Oh, you'll get there when you get 30.
Yo, I got born into looking good.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wow.
No,
Stevie,
no.
you're so humble. See, Penny, that's why we don't encourage his ego with compliments at the beginning. That's why we trash on him on every episode, because look at what it does to him.
No, Steve is good. He's a good boy.
Oh, well, thank you.
Stevie,
didn't
you're
mean-
an ugly fuck.
I didn't.
Oh my god.
Well, that just disproves my point. I
Yeah, I
guess.
had to compensate. Sorry. So yeah, getting back to anime, to the anime I've been watching. I've been searching something to watch during my sport, my exercise, and I thought, what better way than this goofy anime titled "How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?" And I just wanted to get into it because it seemed like a comedy anime focused around going to the gym and losing weight. But it was actually kind of erotic. And I didn't know that. But either way, it's fun.
Wait, you didn't?
No, I
thought
didn't.
that was the whole point of it.
No, I just know the scene where the guy, the gym trainer looks totally normal, and then he gets triggered
He
by
flexes.
he gets triggered by the word beside, and he goes like beside, side, and then he explodes with muscle, side chest. That's the only scene I've known, so I thought it was a super macho anime, or not.
Oh.
I know it was a comedy anime, but I thought it was a comedy macho anime. So
I see. No, like as far as I know, it's like a horny anime about lifting dumbbells that is also kind of informative and also kind of
yeah, so I'll go ahead and tell you about the story before we get into how this anime is structured and stuff like that. So it starts by this blonde girl, a teenager, and she just eats a whole lot of things. And one day she looks at herself and she kind of realizes her school suit, her school uniform doesn't fit her anymore. So she doesn't know where the problem lies. She thinks it's all about going to the gym. That's why she goes to the gym, while keeping in mind ordering a full McDonald's menu before going to the gym, just for good measure. Because
Yeah,
that's clearly not the problem of
you need to take
her.
your protein first.
Yeah, the protein, the 7,000 calorie McDonald's Big Mac menu.
That's how it works. Yes.
Yeah, and then she goes to the gym, and you know how it is. You get intimidated, and the series covers that stuff. Like going to the gym, like first day going to the gym, can be super intimidating because you see all those buff guys and the progress and how serious everyone is, and you're just here being
Overwhelmed.
being
New
an
guy.
overweight ass schoolgirl that doesn't know how life works and just thinking
But
to herself,
that's why she's there.
yeah, let's give it a try and then leave. So she wants just to give it a try and leave, but then she falls in love with the training guy, with the side chest guy.
Oh, she literally falls in love with him.
Yeah, and that's her reason for going. And
I see. Okay.
While it's kind of a dumb motive, it also proves the point that like exercise for me is personally not about losing weight or about being fit. It's also you train your mindset, right? And you kind of have to have a goal for continuing to do sport. That's like the most important thing. And even though it's ridiculous for many, it's love, it's kind of funny how it actually with comedy it gives you some something to start with by doing sport. Like I'm not saying you need to go out and fall in love, but it kind of has a point. Like if your goal is to lose a lot of weight, so maybe I had a friend, he lost a lot of weight to go not cycling, motorcycling. Yeah, because if you're too overweight, you can't go motorcycling.
Why is that?
Doesn't that just
Because
depend on
the
motorcycle?
balance. No. Because it could be dangerous because of the balance and the speed you go on.
Oh, okay. So,
Like-
but more like normal motorcycling or like something
I don't know.
like extreme or like downhill motorcycling.
I
or
think it
whatever
was
it's
a
called.
bit more extreme, but I can't remember, to be frank.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah.
But either way, yeah, I mean, having a
it
bad
makes
sense, yeah, having a bad sense of balance. I think even normal cyclers, you shouldn't probably go cycling if you're over a certain weight cap. Like running is also really bad for you if you're even a bit like overweight, because it can really hurt
it
your
destroys your muscle
I think your joints.
and your joints.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much pressure on the joints.
Yeah. So that's a really bad thing. And funnily enough, the series addresses all of that. Like it addresses stuff like cheat day, which I personally do. I need something good to eat at least once a week, because otherwise I get depressed. and stuff like that. No, I found myself like, going
you
into
saw
it for
yourself
the.
into it.
Yeah, no, I went into it with the sense of just watching an anime, a trashy comedy anime, and I kind of learned something out of it, like or stuff out of it. And even if I knew most of the stuff that was in there, for people who aren't as well versed or just started, it can actually help at least a bit to at least get into it and try to inform yourself.
A lot of people really liked it for not just being kind of trash horny anime, I guess.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I heard when it came out, because it's not that old. It's like, I think
2019.
1 or 2 years.
2019.
Oh, yeah, 2019, right.
Yeah, the thing is, I think it's not like a good. I wouldn't recommend watching it like if you're just laying in bed, and I mean at that point just watch something better, I guess, more plot heavy, or a good slice of life like SpyxFamily. But this serves a specific
it's a
surface.
waste of time. It's the McDonald's of anime.
Yeah,
but kind of ironic when you think about it.
But like McDonald's, it serves a purpose. Like I think it's perfect if you want to watch something like during gym or stuff like that. It's actually a good watch.
Well,
because you also probably don't need to devote a lot of attention to it.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's why I also started like watching so much anime, because I found myself like training and I can't really watch Hunter x Hunter or Monster during training, so I decided to binge all the trash seasonal anime that are coming out this season. And I actually found some anime that I enjoyed, even if I thought I was going into it with the thought that they were being trash, which I'll save for later. But yeah, That was my experience watching this anime. Again, if you want to get into like fitness or stuff like that, I recommend this one. It's a really fun watch for that.
Alex, I heard you have some insider secret information about manga and subscriptions.
I'll keep it brief because I actually am planning a video for that. So literally, I'll stop the time 10 seconds, okay? If you want many mangas to read, if you are a big fan of shonen, and if you haven't read like One Piece and stuff like that, and you want an easy way to watch manga, then pay $2 for the shonen manga. What?
Read.
Stevie, I got 10 seconds. Then pay $2. Then pay $2 for the Shonen Jump membership subscription that you can find online. Only negative is that in some countries like Italy, it doesn't work. So just connect to a VPN to UK and you're all set to go.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored. Also use NordVPN for
God damn it.
For the VPN.
No. Also not sponsored, sadly.
But if you want more details, I'll be releasing a video soon. I don't know if a video will come out on my because by the time this airs, I'm probably thinking of I'm still thinking if I should do it, but I'm heavily like leaning towards a second channel, and maybe that video will be reserved for that because I don't want it to get in the way of my good main content, which it kind of doesn't fit in. So maybe it will come out on my second channel. But yeah,
once it exists.
Yeah, once it exists. I already recorded it. It's just in the post-processing section.
Nice.
So
you guys can look forward to that.
Self-promotion, shameless plug.
I mean, you've been putting out some bangers recently. I really liked the SpyxFamily video about Anya and stuff. I think there's been some good content.
Oh, really? Because I wanted to put that on the second channel.
No, really? Like,
Yeah.
I think
I meant like the analysis.
Yeah,
thingy. That was.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I
I-
think it fits.
I also
You
think
think
like
so?
short. I don't mind these like shorter videos on your channel at all.
No, I just thought about putting the more analytical videos on the second channel.
Really?
But I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I still
Depends.
have to think about it.
Like there
I'll
are a lot of like yes, you do have a lot of memes on your channel, but I don't think the average person would mind the more analytical aspect either.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. I'll let you know. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
Be surprised, podcast listeners, if you're also into my content.
So I've been watching, or like I've watched the first 3 episodes of SpyxFamily together with my girlfriend and Manu, actually.
Nice.
How much did you guys watch?
The first
Oh,
2 episodes.
I watched. I've been up to date. Like SpyxFamily Saturday all the way. Like that's literally when I talked about like cheat days for my exercise. I literally wait until the episode's released and then order McDonald's or something like that because I need that. That 20 minutes are like the that make my week. You know, like But
Nice. So what do you guys think about it?
Oh, I didn't really go into it with high expectations, but holy fuck, am I blown out of the water. I love it so far.
You haven't watched, or you haven't
No, I
read
haven't
the
read the
manga,
manga.
right? Okay.
but I have read the manga, and I personally think the anime is better. I would say because I personally think so, just because the voice acting is so on point. Like the casting is superb.
Like, do you say the voice acting, like the casting is amazing because they're the same voice actors from Snafu?
No. I actually think they fit the role very, very well. I also think that I know that Tatsuya Endo's artwork kind of gets lost, like with every anime. Like you can make an anime as detailed as the manga. But I think the animation makes up for it. Like especially in episode 5, which I recently watched, there were some insane animated scenes. Like when it actually comes to the action, I think the first episode, the second episode, when Yor meets with is about to meet with Lloyd, and Lloyd is like late.
He's late?
Yeah, he's late because he has to
he's
fulfill this
lying.
mission.
Okay.
Isn't that in like episode 3?
No, that's in episode 2. That's the Your episode.
Oh, you said like episode 5. That's why I was confused.
Oh, sorry. No, I meant episode 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
There the animation was a bit wanky, especially his face. But I'll assure you, like the camera, the perspectives that they achieve in episode 5 just blew me out of the water. Like Wit Studio just nailed it. I think it's a collaboration with Wit Studio and Cloverworks, and they're both on their A game. Also, the soundtrack is amazing.
The soundtrack is really good, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the intro song.
Oh,
but,
really?
like animation-wise, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just like not my thing, to be honest. I'm not really into it, but I think the intro in itself, just the animation is really, really cool.
But you sounded like you were more into the manga.
Yeah. Compared to like my problem with the anime, I think it's really good. I really like the anime. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's really good. What I felt for some of the jokes, especially in the earlier episodes, in like episode 1 and 2, I felt like some jokes weren't landing quite as well because they had to be dragged out by the scenes, kind of. Because like, due to them not being, there's a lot of timing that works within the manga because it's so short, kind of. There's not a long time between certain actions or like stuff that happens, and within the anime, I felt like certain jokes weren't executed quite as well. That's kind of my only problem with it. It's not really major. It's not like it destroyed the anime for me, but for some jokes I felt like they worked better in the manga.
I
don't
can
know
see that.
why exactly.
I can see that, but I think all the positives outweigh the negatives, you know?
For someone,
For me, it's not really a question of which one I like better. I like both. Kind of. I think the anime is very good. I think the manga is amazing, and I'm happy there is a faithful, good adaptation to the manga, because some people just enjoy anime more, and that's good. So
No,
I'm just happy it exists, I guess.
yeah, as someone who only watched the first 2 episodes of the anime, like I think the comedy was on point. Like I fucking laughed my heart out the moment Lloyd proposed to Yor with a grenade ring.
Yeah, that
that's-
one is great.
That to me is like, yes, this is what SpyxFamily is. It's like state agents that with their their like their like secret lives have influenced their normal perception of things. Like he lost the ring,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna use this grenade ring. That's gonna be extremely funny and cool." I think that
I
would land
completely
great.
forgot. I completely forgot that was in the manga, because when we watched the anime, I was like, "How the fuck does Yor not realize that he's he's a secret agent at that moment?"
But see, I actually would agree with Stevie there, because the sound of the explosion in the background, for example, just elevates the joke in that aspect, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, of course, it's the funniest shit ever. I just completely forgot that scene was in the manga, and I was like, how? Because like, I think for most of the manga, it's plausible that Yor wouldn't notice, or
that,
like.
that Lloyd is
Oh,
spy.
really? I don't know.
I think it's kinda it's still a far stretch, but it's kinda plausible. But for like this part, they literally run away from people shooting at them.
Which
Yeah,
psychologist just
it's
punches
just-
their clients?
It's just you know he's doing his
Expunges.
best for his clients, so he has to know some martial arts. It's
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
yeah.
job.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but like after I'm saying in the manga, after that, I feel like there's not a lot of scenes where it's very obvious, you know, because in this for you, I think it's way more obvious for Yor, because she like regularly punches people almost to death, or like I think it's a cow or something, or like a bull. She stops a bull with her bare hands and stuff, and that happens more often after, while Lloyd's stuff is more in the background. And there I can be like, yeah, sure, it's a far stretch, but it kind of works.
I don't know. Like, Lloyd made me realize why every hospital has a psychologist, because after going to the psychologist, you need the hospital. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think if you pay, like, rewatch or just watch the further along, and then try to look at Lloyd and see if it's predictable, because I think in episode 5 it's super predictable that he's a spy. Even to Yor. Okay, to be fair, like, no spoilers.
But is she just playing dumb, or does she just not know this?
No, she doesn't
She
know.
is kind of dumb. She is kind of dumb. That's kind of the point as well. Because, like, or like not dumb, maybe more like naive. Yeah.
But it's actually good that you brought up, like, if the anime was better than the manga, because there's a huge debate, because people are at the moment, or not debate, people are just saying they think that this is probably one of the best anime adaptations ever. Like, that's a huge topic of discussion right now, because everybody lost.
I wouldn't say it's like the best animation wise as well, because like there's some fun animation in there, but like some of it is a bit wonky and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it like the most amazing adaptation ever.
Well, I think not from an animation point, but just from a like sound point, it's amazing. Like how the character fits the sound effects, the background. I'll have to agree with that. But it also depends what you see. What is your like view on being a good adaptation? Because I mean, if you compare like the Attack on Titan manga to the anime, then clearly the anime is way better. But that's also because the art in the manga is not so good. For example, like there the difference is much clearer, but Tatsuya Endo's drawings are just so detailed that it may seem that the manga is also on par. I personally would think that both are like valid ways to consume SpyxFamily, in my opinion. I just don't know if I could go back to the manga and not miss the voice acting, because that just, in my opinion, just settles the anime as, a bit higher for me, because I just think the cast is absolutely fantastic, the Japanese voice acting.
See, and that's how we're different, because I prefer Anya without the voice acting. I think in my head she's way funnier than on the screen. Kinda.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't get the impression. Like I didn't read it, of course, but I think Anya's voice is good.
Yeah,
I have nothing to criticize about.
I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying in my head she's even better. So I prefer her. I think it works for Lloyd and for Yor, but Anya I feel is funnier in my head.
But I don't know if I could imagine a better voice for Anya than this.
I'm not saying it doesn't fit. I'm just saying the version in my head is funnier.
But you would make her like deeper voice. No,
I don't know how I would make her. Can you describe what goes on in your head?
Yeah, it's my head.
It's a funny Anya in there and some other stuff.
It's a funny Anya in there, and I like that one more.
Yeah, but I mean, when you criticize a voice, you kind of have to give me an example of what you criticize.
This is not an objective thing, Alex. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm saying this. I think the voice acting is great. I think she's great for the role. I think she does a great job. I just feel like in my head it's funnier.
Okay.
This is
Alex,
a purely emotional thing. This is not an objective fact I'm stating right here.
Well, Alex,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
We're never gonna hear this funnier version of Anya. I'm sorry.
I kind of don't get the point, but I mean, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's kind of the same point you're like making with Pokemon and stuff. It's like objective.
No,
like
I think my point of Pokemon is completely unsensical. But I think I could there is a way in which I could phrase my disappointment in Pokemon in a subjective way, and I think you can form a subjective opinion on or an objective opinion on her voice acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not forming my objective opinion is that the voice acting for her is great, and I love it, and I think she's very well cast, and I think she's doing a great job. Subjectively, the Anya in my head is funnier.
But I'm not saying the Pokemon in my head is better.
No, but like
this
I
argument
don't understand how this is like debatable. This is just like a subjective opinion I'm having, and I think in my head I find it funnier. I don't really understand what we're discussing right now.
How do you even make a point out of this? I'm just I'm listening to this conversation. I'm like, wait, how the fuck do you argue with that or against that? I don't understand.
Spiraled into nothing.
Yeah.
I think
was so confused. I was like,
I think
what
Penny
the fuck does he want from me?
No, I think Penny. No, I just thought I just wanted to understand why the voice acting in your head sounds funnier. That's all. But I kind of
just does. I don't know how.
Yeah, but I don't get your point, and I think you don't get mine either way.
No, I do get your point. I just don't understand what you want me to tell you. I told you objectively I think it's good. In my head, the version of Anya that I have in my head when I read the manga, I find that one funnier.
But can you
And
describe it?
no, that's the problem.
She has like a high-pitched voice and
Yeah, but then again, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if she has a high-pitched voice, you could say like, okay, in my head, like she had a bit of a more high-pitched voice or a bit of a lower-pitched voice. Is that so funny? Like, I don't know. I think I'm making sense.
in my head it's way funnier, Alex. You have no idea.
Bruh,
It's not. It's not just the pitch. It's also like the delivery, I guess. And I don't know. It's just different. How I don't know what I should tell you. It's different, and I can't explain it.
That's a valid argument. Like the delivery in my head was, which I thought would be better when I read it, is better than the voice actor. In my opinion, like that's a valid argument for me. I just wanted to understand, you know.
Yeah, but that's an objective fact you can state, and I don't think
I think everything we say is objective on this podcast.
It means subjective.
Subjective, sorry. Did I say
Yeah.
objective?
You said objective. Like you can state objectively that I think the delivery was not good, or like her like, that's not a good example. You can objectively make a statement about the voice acting and say it's objectively bad, kind of. But I never stated that I'm making an objective opinion or like an objective point.
Yeah,
about
no,
her voice acting.
Yeah, that's not my problem. That's not the problem I have. I just thought that, you know, we can also discuss subjective comments, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just didn't know what I should tell you because you're like, but how is it funnier? And I'm like,
Yeah, that's
I don't know. It just is. What the fuck do you want from me?
I just like it doesn't come from a point of hatred. I just wanted to get how she's funny. like I was just curious.
Anyways, I also tried getting my hand on like a few copies of the manga, but I could only find the first volume. The other ones are just
Yeah.
you can get them anywhere.
I have the first 7 in Italian.
Yeah,
Beat
okay,
that.
but like that's like not
That's
okay.
like buying
Stevie.
manga in easy mode. I know.
That's like buying JoJo
Yeah.
French.
I could also buy them in German, but I just don't want to because
So
I know
A
you
lot of
guys. I
German
know you guys
translations
don't
are
really
not good.
tolerate other
No.
languages when reading.
I bought actually the first manga volume, the third, and the sixth one because those are in English, I think.
You think?
No, because I actually ordered the first one and it came Italian, even though the description read English. But I may have fucked up myself because Amazon is confusing when it comes to buying English manga because it always automatically recommends you the Italian one. So that may be my fuck up. But I know I've seen it in English, the first volume, and the other two are English.
yeah,
Wonderful.
no, the first volume is like available in English quite easily, but
Yeah.
like all of the others are you can't get them anywhere on like our Amazon.
I
Magic.
think
Or-
the first one was just reprinted because for the longest time the first one was also out of print.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Maggie, aren't there like in Vienna? Haven't you found any like bookstores that sell you manga in English?
I
figure, like, in larger cities-
I haven't really looked for any. It's not like I've really bought any manga in the last year. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I was thinking of looking at some of the stores because like I ran upon them. No, that's a shit expression. I stumbled upon some of them when I was walking through the city.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I'm happy that you started watching the SpyxFamily anime. A thing that I wanted to ask, because you said you watched it with your girlfriend, did she enjoy it?
Yeah, they like I watched it with her and Manu, and they all really liked it, and especially
Nice.
like I originally planned on only watching it with Manu because I wasn't sure if like my girlfriend was interested in it, but we ended up just watching it, all three of us, and we had a great time.
Nice, nice. So all the discussions that Manu will hear on this episode, our biggest fan, he can actually follow. Nice.
Nice.
I watched the second season of Reincarnated as a Slime.
How was it?
Like when I watched the first season, like I dropped it for a while because I lost interest halfway. But I made a deal with my brother that if I was gonna watch it, he was gonna play Fire Emblem Three Houses. That deal was a definite win-win situation because I did end up enjoying Slime a lot, especially the second season when shit starts to go down.
Yeah,
Like
I thought the first one was good too.
yeah, like it. Yeah, it was good definitely. Like I don't think it was bad at all. But I was kinda I felt like things were going too much Rimuru's way. Like
Yeah, I get that.
there's like the threat is pretty much non-existent, and you're only building up to becoming a threat yourself to someone else, which is kind of necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
Before, like you the only threat
Can
you
you
have.
maybe explain
Okay,
what
yeah, sorry.
slime is about?
Okay,
Because
so-
I have no fucking idea.
Okay, my bad. I should have done that for our dear viewers, of course. So slime is it's an isekai, it's a normal isekai, but the guy who gets stabbed in Japan is reincarnated as a slime. It's in the title.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I guessed that much. That
and he's this super OP slime because slimes are usually pretty weak monsters, but he's really busted because like he learned a lot of skills. Somehow I'm not really sure.
isekai powers.
Isekai powers.
Yeah, he has the skill of Kirby.
Yeah, he has the skill of.
Oh,
Kirby.
he can
True,
swallow
true.
people and take their powers. I see.
Basically yes.
Just that he's OP'er than Kirby because he actually can store the powers. He doesn't have to spit the power out to get a new one.
I see. Makes sense.
And most of the first season, he spends his time in a goblin village he stumbled upon, and he gained their respect for defending the village against werewolves of sorts. And he just
What werewolves?
werewolves.
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 Werewolves!
Werewolves!
Tacos!
Werewolf. Hey. Get that.
Mexicans
spends-
getting heated in the chat. You just called someone out in the chat.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry. Mexican.
Werewolves. I'm sorry, werewolves.
Where was Io? I'm sorry.
I don't even know what Cuervo means, actually.
That's like it is.
I just know the artist Cuervo. He's the guy that made the soundtrack for, or like made some of the soundtrack for Hotline Miami. I think he's called Cuervo.
Didn't know that. Okay.
Either way, go on.
Go
Steven.
whenever
So he
you're ready.
defended the village from werewolves.
Yeah, from werewolves, and he befriended also the werewolves and the goblins. And now he's building a nation of monsters from this one goblin village, and he gives them names, which makes them evolve and become more powerful beings.
Yeah.
And yeah, he basically
What
like
is this Pokemon?
no, it's Clash of Clans mixed with Civilization.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
In an
yeah,
isekai world.
and he just starts building this nation. And in the second season, that's where shit actually starts to go down.
Mm-hmm. Should
Benny,
we
do you
talk
plan on-
about the
Do you plan
second
on
season?
Do you plan on watching it?
No, not at all.
Okay, I guess
But,
spoilers for the second
Yeah,
season of
let's
Slime.
give a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Go to this. Go in the description. Should be a time link a timestamp where we actually finish talking about slime. If you want to avoid spoilers and still want to watch the second season or finish the first one, please go check it out and maybe return back to the episode if you're very dedicated. And otherwise, if you are not interested, just listen to Stevie right now.
So yeah, and in the second season, he a neighboring kingdom starts to get irritated at the existence of this nation of monsters because they are all of the trade is now flowing through this new nation instead of the usual instead of this kingdom. So they're losing at the existence of this nation of monsters, and they decide to declare war. Their motive is that the church sees monsters as unclean, correct? Heathens.
Yeah.
They are sent by demons to infest this holy land. And like a lot of like the city goes up in flames in parts. And like it was kind of refreshing, I guess, to have like a conflict and not winning immediately, because the slime is pretty strong. Like
yeah,
he has this situation under control most of the time, but he was not present there, and one main character died as well. And I found
when they started the war, the slime was not present because he had business outside the country.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. I just imagined the slime with like 2 sneakers on the bottom, just like walking around with big fucking shoes.
No, it's actually a big selling point. Sorry for going a bit of a tangent because that fits in. It's actually very cool because the slime has a human form. And the way they animated the human form is basically that he hops around in the human form as if he is still a slime. You know, he does the slimy movement like you would imagine a slime to move, but with a human body, with a much more hoppy animation, which makes it actually very cool because just by seeing him walk, and it's actually a super iconic walk if you have watched the series, you can distinguish just by his silhouette, by the way he walks, who is Rimuru, the slime, and who is any other character.
Oh, okay.
Which is a very cool detail.
That I did not notice.
I think you know it. It's just you haven't. It's just you know it unconsciously. Like if I would have put a silhouette of Rimuru, just or a normal, a normal body-shaped silhouette that moves like Rimuru, and one that moves like another character from Slime.
Oh, wait, is he the character with like the blue hair?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like a waifu or something.
No. It was a waifu, but then he curbed her. He ate her and gained her appearance.
Her appearance.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not fucking weird at all.
No, it actually. Yeah, you mean? Yeah, Penny,
Well,
you need to remember that those are like the most condensed 50 episodes you'll ever hear. So it's not that it happens randomly out of nowhere. It has its plot, but we want.
He has his reasons to curb the woman.
Yeah. It's like saying.
Rimuru realized he is always naked.
What are
you looking at?
That makes sense. I was like looking up the walk, but I couldn't really find it.
Now you just came across some memes.
Calipa Effect, I think, made a really good video about it. If you want to check it out.
And yes, that was my experience watching the second season of Slime.
Oh, you won't get into the John Wick revenge plot?
The John Wick revenge plot? Okay, let's go on to the John Wick revenge plot. He also... in this world we have demon lords, as any isekai world would, and he just decides to become one so he can revive everyone else who died, because the souls are trapped in the anti-magic city barrier that extends across the capital of the country, set there by enemy mages, of course.
You may find that this sounds ridiculous, but again, 50 episodes condensed into like 6 minutes is, it's like a gigak video.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And then he needs 10,000 lives to evolve into this demon lord form. Pretty convenient that you're fighting a war since you have a lot of lives to take, and that's exactly what he does. And then he revives every fallen monster in the city, and that's up to the point I am now.
Oh, so you haven't finished? Okay.
No, like the second part I have barely even started.
Basically, yeah. So basically, it turns into John Wick wants to become Goku. It goes from Isekai to Clash of Clans to John Wick wanting to become Goku. No, but it's actually super fun. It may sound over the top, and that's because it is, but it's also the flair of it. Definitely just a overall fun watch for me, in my opinion.
I agree.
It's
nothing
not
spectacular, but it's pretty good.
I mean, it's not deep or anything, but it's probably the most fun I've had with an isekai. Just watching it and not thinking much of it. It doesn't have that deep ass world and lore like Mushoku Tensei had in the anime, and which also then in the manga
I still have to watch that.
More reinforced. Oh, you should, especially after watching Slime. Now you're more now that you've actually watched I think this is your first isekai, right?
I've watched ReZero.
Oh yeah, okay, but this is your first
Yes.
Not
standard
yeah, more generic
I mean,
isekai. Yeah. Do you think it inspires you to maybe go on with other isekais, like you said, like Mushoku Tensei?
Yeah, I definitely want to watch Mushoku Tensei because I was of your same opinion that it was kind of meh from the first season alone.
Yeah, I get that.
But you've watched the second season and clearly you've had a change of heart, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was like Persona 5 in that bitch. Like I completely changed my opinion of Mushoku Tensei after around episode 13, I think, or 14. Like,
how do you mean you were Persona 5'd?
The change of heart.
Oh, because the change of... Okay, I'm fucking stupid. Never mind. Never mind.
You can tell which one of us didn't play Royal yet.
Yeah, I need to play Royal still.
As we established in a special episode. No, sorry, Stevie, go on. So, you're interested in Mushoku Tensei? Anything other that comes to mind?
Shield Hero.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know the second season was a flop.
I've heard terrible things of the second season. Terrible. Like, I found it... There is such a funny YouTube video where he basically he completely destroys Shield Hero with one sentence, okay? He basically opens the video with... So, let's talk about Shield Hero, where the protagonist uses anything other than a shield to kill everything. because the shield at this point, the shield of Shield Hero is such an OP weapon that it can turn just to a nuclear weapon, to a sword, to a gun, to a popsicle of ice that you can eat in the summer.
Gun, it's still a shield, right?
Yeah.
It's made of shield, of course.
It's made of shield. It's made of Nokia, so it's a Nokia, of course. It's indestructible.
Nice.
The only my brother watched it recently, and you said it. Shield Hero suffers from the similar problem that Dr. Stone has. That you have this one gimmick and you don't really expand into other...
Did I say that? I thought I said it about Shokugeki no Soma.
Yeah, but you also extended the point to Shield Hero, didn't you?
Okay. Let me... I'll have to correct myself there. I have to pedal back on that. I think Dr. Stone is miles ahead of Shield Hero, even at the beginning, even when Shield Hero was good. I just think it suffers from a similar kind of problem. But I have to say Dr. Stone is way ahead of Shield Hero in terms of originality. Sorry.
But no, my brother he loves Doctor Stone, and he loves Shield Hero. So maybe he's just not the guy who sees this kind of problem like you do, and he liked the second season a lot, and that's the only other point of view I've heard beside the internet response.
No, I mean, I like isekai trash. I just admit that it's trash. That's the difference.
No, but I like the first season. I would want to watch the first season.
Yeah, no, I just, there are isekais that I think, even though they are trash, they're just plainly entertaining. Like, I watched the assassin isekai. I don't know the full title, but it's basically he gets reborn as he's already an OP assassin, then he gets reborn, and then he has a house full of chicks, and he's OP. And I mean it's the same reason why you watch High School DD, but it's just fun, and I get that. I get your brother though. Like I can see why you enjoy Shield Hero even after second season, but maybe you just like trash. That's okay. No, maybe he admits that it's the first season is better. But if he truly thinks that the second season is on par as the first season, then I have to disagree with him on that part. But yeah, we can get into Shield Hero another time when. If you want, we can get more into detail. If you maybe decide to watch the first season as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to rap, but right now I'm not in the mood. But I wanted a cool transition for your boy Kongming, which is an amazing anime. It's people keep saying, summertime rendering is the secret hit of the season.
What is summertime rendering? I've never heard of it.
I think I talked on the podcast of summertime rendering.
You did? Okay, then I didn't catch the title. What is it about?
Yeah, we just flew about. So summertime rendering is a manga now turned into an anime that I've been on the lookout since 2 years ago. I started the manga, and it's this really interesting concept where the main character goes back to an island. Where he was born. He goes there because his childhood friend died. Because the thing is, he goes back to this island. He goes back by boat. Then he attends the funeral. And then the sister of his childhood friend, which is also his childhood friend, goes to him and is creeped out. And he asks her, what is it? And she told him after seeing the corpse of his sister and her being proclaimed dead, she actually saw her sister again alive at the beach.
Okay.
Which is very weird, right?
Yeah.
When a person is dead, they don't walk on the beach usually?
Usually, yes.
So they both get on to investigate. They both go on this beach and try to find her. And then the sister out of nowhere points again at him. And he's like, what the fuck?
Wait, what?
So,
no, that's where you're supposed to be confused. Because there are two sisters.
Wait, so she points a gun at him. And then what happens?
He looks to the left and sees the same person, not pointing a gun at him, being terrified. Because they're doppelgangers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And the whole point is, on this island, there are creatures that kill you and assume your identity. No, that assume your identity and then kill you. Sorry, because otherwise there couldn't have been two sisters. So it's a murder mystery on this small island, and you have to be wary of every single person. So basically, he respawns on the boat. This is where the boat comes in. He respawns on the boat, and then he gets killed again because you think it's like a ReZero mechanics where he respawns. He respawns at approximately, I don't know, but he respawns like afternoon, like let's say for example 2 p.m.
Yeah.
He gets killed again because of he tries to figure out other stuff, and then he respawns at 2:05 p.m.
Oh, so he like always respawns 5 minutes later than the last time.
And the last death.
Yeah.
No, the last
I see.
respawn, yeah.
which is very interesting, which as a concept is super interesting, because when you have like time traveling concepts like that, you have no risk. Essentially, the risk in ReZero is more his emotional
His
damage.
mental state,
his
emotional damage.
Right, but that's how ReZero justifies like the stakes. But this series justifies the stakes by saying, hey, you have this chance, but you can't fuck up too many times. Solve the mystery, which in my opinion is a very cool concept for time traveling. And I really think there was a lack of mystery anime and manga, of good mystery anime and manga in recent times. So I'm really happy that we got something like this. But having said that, I don't think it's like the best sleeper hit, because everybody keeps talking about that and nobody's watching it because it's on Disney Plus, and fuck Disney, it's in Disney jail. So they don't release episodes weekly, but they release everything after it's finished, so you can't watch it legally.
I mean, honestly, Disney Plus is starting to be like one of the more appealing services out of all of them.
I just fucking hate Disney so much.
Yeah, same.
I just don't. That's like the last thing I want to buy, even though I probably have to at some point. But I just fucking hate Disney.
I just hate all big companies.
No, I hate Disney in particular. I think Disney is way worse than other big companies. Like if there was a scale, Disney would be S tier, like super villain, and the other companies would be like in C tier. Like Disney literally, I don't know if I've heard that from another podcast or something. Like, but Disney literally sued a grave, because on the grave there was a Mickey Mouse logo or something on it, and this, like, how the fuck can you make that shit up? Like,
That's
what
like,
the fuck?
That's Nintendo levels of get your hands off my shit.
My boy, tell me about ya boy Kongming.
Kongming is this Chinese tactician, which was one of the 3 great generals or tacticians, I think. I don't know too much about his story, because
It's like the era of the 3 kingdoms, as far as I understand.
Yeah. That's right. And he gets reincarnated in the real time now, and he gets reincarnated in midst of a festival in Shibuya. And his first thought was, oh, must have landed in hell. So he's really confused, because he thought this was hell, but it's just a modern day. And he goes into this bar, this Chinese general, and he doesn't stand out because everybody is in costume, because it's a festival. And I think it's even... Yeah, it's a festival where you cross-dress, not cross-dress, but cosplay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he goes in this club. He just, wants to live his life in hell. And then he hears this beautiful voice across the whole club. And it's this girl that sings. And she's relatively unknown. And she only sings in the club. And he found the way that she sings so enjoyable that he decides he wants to help her with his ancient Chinese battle tactics, get notoriety, and be promoted as an international songstress.
Idol.
Yeah. Not idol, because she she only sings in clubs. She's more like a disco queen that sings.
Nice. So he as far as I understand, he becomes her manager using ancient Chinese battle tactics. And stuff.
They also refer to ancient Chinese battle tactics, and it's super fun. They like recreate an illusionary battle tactic and stuff like that. It's super over the top, super ridiculous, but it actually isn't that much of a comedy. It's more like something like JoJo, you can imagine, where just the concept is so ridiculous, but the characters are super serious. So it's even more funny, but it actually has interesting characters, interesting plot, and you always think of what will happen next with his tactics. And the anime goes on for 25 episodes, and we're only at episode 6 at the moment. and there are some rap segments as well. They basically cover this whole not only singing, but the whole disco life and the whole strategy.
The whole scene.
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, the whole scene and the whole strategy on getting promoted in the scene and getting to know more people in the scene. And it's just so funny because he gets like super into it. This ancient Chinese general gets super into the disco life, and like he starts buying disco clothes and freaking really out.
Like, pretty much everything I know is just like the intro. And just the intro alone is such a banger, and the visuals are so cool, and
that song is so
wears
good.
like a lot of weird fucking clothes.
So actually,
like typical disco stuff.
Actually, the voice of the female lead, of the other main character, which is the songstress, the singing was done by 96 Neko, which is also a kind of Utaite singer that you see on YouTube a lot, and I actually knew her before.
Okay.
So I didn't know that, but then I've watched the title sequence. And where
she's mentioned,
and she's credited as the singer voice, and I was so excited because many people don't know her, and I knew her before, and it's just such a rewarding experience seeing someone you actually know like voice acting in such an important role. It's like. I imagine Eve fans were like this when Jujutsu Kaisen dropped. I felt that way, and her singing voice is absolutely beautiful. And you've all seen the intro; it's an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's an adaptation, or like not an adaptation. How would you call it? They sing. The song is originally, I think, of Slavic origin. I don't know where exactly, but it's like
it's a sample.
Like a Russian.
No,
it's not a sample. Like the song itself is from like a Russian or Ukrainian. I don't know where exactly it's from, but it's like from the Slavic countries.
But the lyrics
it's like
are
a disco song there.
But the lyrics are in English and Japanese.
No, they're like different from the original.
Oh,
I can send you the song after. It's a bit different.
So it's kind of
but
like
the
sample.
tequila, for example, stays the same.
Tequila. Yeah, okay. No, I get it because the song is an absolute banger.
And the chitty chitty ban ban, that's kind of also the same.
Also, the ending is really, really good.
I found it so funny, like because for me this anime kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the sleeper hit of the season. I enjoyed it more than Summertime Rendering.
I really need to watch it because like originally I was the one that introduced it to you, because like I kind of weirdly stumbled upon it, and now everyone's just into it.
This is also
and I haven't watched it yet.
This is also a series where I highly recommend the anime above the manga, because I've heard the manga is not... Firstly, I've heard it's not that good because I didn't go out of the way just to read the manga to prove my point, but I can imagine this anime without the super awesome music.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's like that's so much, and the animation is really, really beautiful. Characters are super well done, and the pacing is on point. Definitely give it a watch. Definitely, it's a light-hearted watch.
That's the one I'm gonna check out this season, most likely.
It also gets 25 episodes, so you have quite a bit to
that's
watch.
a lot.
Summertime Rendering also is getting a 2-core.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, a what?
25 episodes. A core is 12 episodes.
What are these funny words, Magic Man?
The zoomer words.
Damn, I'm such a zoomer.
I'm such a boomer.
By the way, while we're talking about ending, have you seen the new Kaguya ending? It's everywhere.
No,
the Kaguya-sama.
No.
It's the super cool 3D-esque animation, which is done by one 18-year-old animator alone, and it's so well done. It's super cool. It's amazing. It has over 3 million views on YouTube, and it gets like recommended to me every day.
Season 3 special ending.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah, he also redid the character design. I think they are supposed to be grown up, and it's just a dancing scene in, I think, in a disco, and it's super awesome. Gotta check it out. If I don't know if you're checking it out.
I'm looking at it right now. It does look a bit weird, but just thinking of the fact that one 18-year-old made this himself is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It's so impressive.
it's super cool, and it's nice seeing
Damn.
it
I'm
get this
also looking at
recognition.
it now.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, huge talent there. Whoever did the animation, I'm not sure. I just read it. It was done by an 18-year-old. I don't know the name of the animator, but definitely deserves special ending credit. The 3 million views deserved. Absolutely amazing.
Crazy.
Anime. I haven't watched Kaguya-sama third season though, because I want to read the manga, because that has a bit more content. Because
Really? I haven't watched the anime at all for it.
The anime skips 2/3 of the manga.
Because like if you think about it, you've read the manga, haven't you, Benny?
Yeah, I'm like up to date with it.
Okay. Well, if you think about it, it's pretty hard to adapt Kaguya because not many stories, I guess, can be converted into a full episode.
I mean,
Like-
yeah, but that's also kind of the same
They-
case with Komi.
Yeah, but they don't
but-
they don't do like they do 3 chapters each episode. That's not the problem. It's just they started the first season while only adapting some parts, and since they are continuous story, like they're not like episodic stories, right? They go on in there's a certain continuity to Kaguya,
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of like jokes that get picked up again from
Yeah.
previous
Yeah.
side stories.
And some were just never adapted, and so they can't just continue from season 2. You know, take chapter 3 in season 2. That's a bit weird. Like they can't just do that.
You can't go back to a joke you've never adapted, basically.
Yeah. So when I finished season 2, I wanted to continue the manga, but half the story I didn't get, or half the jokes I didn't get
Did you
because
try
they
to read it?
yeah, but
Actually.
from chapter 100.
Oh, okay.
That was the problem, because I thought the anime adaptation was pretty complete, but yeah, I guess it wasn't. So I'll have to reread that. Yeah, Kaguya-sama. If you don't know, Kaguya-sama is the series. It's Love is a War. I don't know, Stevie. You wanna tell the people, since it's like your favorite manga?
Yeah, sure. In Kaguya, you have the main girl Kaguya and the main guy Shirogane, and they basically want the other one to confess their feelings for them. Yeah,
It's kind of the typical
romance
story, but like put on its head, where it's like both of them actually have feelings for each other, like from the start, but they're too prideful to admit it, and the anime just kind of makes a joke out of that, for them kind of making it a mission to make the other one confess. It's really funny. I really live. It's one of my favorite manga of all time. I need to reread some of the stuff, but fortunately, I have the first, I think, 7. No, yeah, the first 7 manga volumes right at home, so I can reread it
Nice.
anytime.
Oh, I thought the first, maybe it's now. Maybe you bought them at a lucky time, but I think you can't get the first and third volume, I think, at the moment, because I also tried.
I bought them like, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Back when I had the fucking library thingy
N-
from, because like to explain what I mean by that, our schools, because we're from Italy, when you reach the age of 18, you get $500 worth of like credit, kind of, that you can use to either buy books or other culture related media. For example, you can go to the cinema with it, but you can't buy any with video games with it. But you can buy a lot of books, including manga. You can buy a lot of music, and like I used a lot of that money to buy D&D books and manga,
Yeah.
and that's when I bought most of my manga.
You can also get Playboy magazine. Let's go.
Let's go.
The first thing I looked up, just because I was curious.
I had never even considered, but it would make sense as long as you buy it on Amazon. And if it's in the book section, it kind of works.
No, I was just curious.
Sure.
No, I'm serious.
I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting.
It was just for research purposes.
No, it was. I only do 2D.
was-
No, I'm just joking.
You can't buy the Playboy magazine without the science team, you know.
Yeah, yes. Just have to buy a whole science team to go with
Exactly.
it. Playboy magazine special promotion. Buy one, get one science team free.
Poggers.
What else have you guys watched this 2 weeks?
I have watched My Dress Up Darling, finally.
Yes. Tell us, Stevie. So Stevie, you already know our takes.
Yeah, I know.
In summary, we both really enjoyed it. But tell us your take.
I also, in fact, really enjoyed My Dress Up Darling.
How far does the anime go?
I looked it up because I wanted to keep on reading the manga. In fact,
Until they go to the
and
pool.
it goes up to 30 to chapter 40, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's the pool scene. If I remember correctly, there's
I
only
don't remember how many chapters there were.
there's Penny. There's the scene where they go. I think in the night at school. They go to school at night, and then they
No,
go,
it was
go
a
swimming.
day.
Oh, yeah, true.
It was a day. Okay, I don't. I've only read that scene in the manga because I finished when it was on episode 11, and then episode 12 I read the manga
Why? Tired of
because I
waiting?
didn't want to wait.
I see. Sensible approach.
Yeah.
Like the main selling point to me really was Marin, as simpy as it sounds, I guess. Like I love her chemistry with the MC and the side of cosplaying. I never really thought of cosplaying as anything exciting. In fact, I've last time I ever wore a costume for carnival was in elementary school.
Oh my god. Are we getting a real life Steve Core cosplay next? Is that what Chicken? Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes, we are.
Holy shit.
I never thought about it, but now that you just said it, and I watched Dress Up Darling, and I actually wouldn't mind cosplaying at all. It's coming next real life episode.
You just need a marinade to get along with it.
Oh yes. Do you really not see that happening ever?
Oh,
Thank
Ben
you,
is
Brandon.
sneak dissing. First he goes and praises you at the beginning. Now look what he.
No, I was like, I hate that joke. Fuck you for making it. The marinate joke, because it's Marin.
Yes, I get it.
And you had my jokes. That triggered. You actually want to start cosplaying, Stevie?
Well, want is a big word. Like I wouldn't really mind it.
You would be willing to try it out.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same because I'm not big in. I never really was big into cosplay at all. I don't know. There's just something about it I feel doesn't it works better with characters that are realistic in the first place, for like stuff that comes from games that have like realistic graphics. So maybe like a Metal Gear cosplay or Cyberpunk cosplay, that stuff kind of works for me. Anime stuff always felt a bit weird to me. I don't know. I have this weird notion where it feels very jarring to me to see a different face on a costume. or like an outfit I'm used to see from a different direction, I guess.
I know what you mean, though I have to say, really good cosplays remake the character in real life. They don't adapt it. Like, how can I?
Yeah.
That's I don't know if
No,
you
no,
get.
I get what you mean.
okay.
I get what you mean. They also kind of address that in dress up darting at some point, because they do a cosplay of like a succubus character, I think.
Yeah.
That's it.
In the original anime, they're copying. She pretty much has like her outfit is not really as well established or like well defined, and they have to work around that kind of. So it's yeah. That's kind of the same point you were making, where you kind of have to adapt whatever you're trying to cosplay to fit the environment.
Thinking back to, you said that like you would never cosplay as an anime character, but only realistic video game characters, or generally realistic. Like you wouldn't really go that much off the normal dress code, let's say.
No, it's not necessarily just me. I'm just saying, like, seeing a photo of a cosplayer in an outfit of a character that I am used to it's kind of jarring to me. Is what I was trying to say. I don't know exactly where this comes from, but I never really was into costumes at all after like 4th grade or something. I used to be really into like dressing up as a knight as a kid, but after that I don't know, I don't really enjoy
the Elden Ring
wearing
PTSD
costumes and stuff. What?
The Elden Ring PTSD. You play like a Souls game, and then you were like, so I don't want to end up like Dead Knight. and then you stop. That's how I imagine it.
The thing that's stopping me, really,
you are a knight, okay?
Yeah.
You want to cosplay, you want to dress up as a knight because you had I'm literally explaining a joke.
Okay.
Get it?
Okay, now I get it, because like I didn't get the knight part. I see.
Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome. You can cut it out.
But you were saying, Stevie?
I guess like I don't know if this is a valid excuse, but the thing that really the thing I'm not willing to do to cosplay is making it, I guess. Like wearing it, no problem.
Oh, yeah, no, I get that, because
you don't need to make them.
You can just buy it, but then it's just lazy.
No.
It usually doesn't look as good.
Yeah, but
I
mean,
say
also,
it's lazy, but
I mean, with every hobby, I don't go in it and seek perfection. Like I think you should have a certain standard, but I think you should just try it for the fun of it. You don't need to impress anyone. It's just literally, showing love to the character. I think that's how everyone starts cosplaying.
Yeah.
To me, like really buying already made outfits doesn't really sit well with me.
Why?
I get where it's coming from. I think you shouldn't feel that way.
No, I don't get where it's coming from. Is there a reason?
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a sort of perfectionism about thinking like, if I do this, I want to do it.
I want to do it right
myself, kind of like do it right. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, cosplay isn't really that type of hobby, in my opinion, because cosplay just started by people just wanting to be like the character and showing appreciation. It's more of like, I did this thing, yay, and then you become like a professional at it. It's kind of like starting. I guess it's
starting small.
Yeah,
and like
it's like uploading your first Insta post or YouTube video. In some comparison, it's like you don't need it to be perfect because you're working towards perfection, but you just wanted to test the waters.
Yeah, I see your point as well, but like I think this is just a me problem.
It's a mindset. You have a weak ass mindset.
It's a mindset. No, like I said, I get where it's coming from for you because I kind of feel the same, but I just kind of think that it's not really the point. Like, who gives a shit in the end?
Mm-hmm. I also
Do
see
you
this one.
do you start generally a hobby by trying to be as perfect as possible?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have that very bad habit of doing that, and that's why I'm so like I have a really bad habit of perfectionism, and I struggle a lot with that. Also like mentally, because I always feel like I'm not doing enough or not doing it the right way, I guess. Um,
Huh.
and
That's
so
really
I kind of
interesting.
get where it comes from, because it's this weird nagging feeling where you're expecting to do better, I guess.
Yeah, I think being a constant perfectionist is a bit of a
It's not good.
yeah,
It's like it's a thing that harms me and my progress, because when it comes to learning stuff or getting into stuff, you're never going to be perfect.
yeah,
And expecting perfection at the start,
just halts your
it's
progress.
not gonna get you anywhere. It's only
Yeah.
gonna demotivate you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No,
and
I
that's like I am aware of the problem and I'm trying to fix it, but I definitely get where it's coming from.
I don't know why I have it like why I feel like this towards cosplaying, but towards everything else, I'll be like, oh yeah, looks fun. I'll try it out. I don't really.
Okay, it's just
I
in
don't-
one case scenario.
Yeah, this is it's weird that this is an exception, really.
No, I get it because like people are going to judge you based on your appearance, so you feel
Yeah.
much easier like insecure because it's like cosplaying is kind of like going out of the house with a cool ass new outfit. You always think, man, I bought this cool new outfit, but I don't know if people will judge me for it because I mean it's cool and all, but there are so many variations and there are so many there's so much that I could do better, and it's like the first thing people see is how you're dressed and how you look.
Oh, my
like.
fashion sense has gone out the window. I don't.
No, I get you, Stevie the Vans guy. Every time I see Stevie, he has
Well,
this
sorry.
big ass Vans.
Yeah, I have like 2 Vans shirts because when I was 13, I had this urge I need to look cool. And the
Bro,
clothes, and they haven't grown enough that the clothes got small, so I just keep wearing them.
No, I get you. I
It would
like
be a
Vans. I
Okay,
think Vans are
wonderful.
cool. I just
And
find it
also
funny
look at
because
how much
every time
money I can throw at clothes.
no, you said you were all gifted them.
Yeah, I
gifted
know.
them.
I never buy my own clothes.
Can I tell a funny story?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
So I was going on and on about like watching trashy anime while doing my workouts, right? Since I
Yeah.
restarted doing my workout routine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was just, it third day of restarting. I just wanted to have something dumb in the background, like installed those mega speakers, those fucking a mega pint of speakers.
I love how Megapint became a new word.
Yeah,
Do you know where that comes from?
yeah. I
is
watched the
that?
whole trial.
Okay, nice.
Oh, Johnny Depp trial.
Yeah, let's talk
Okay.
about that later. But
Okay.
I love the Megapint thing. I just find it so fucking
Bruh.
funny.
Okay, you need to explain that to me later. Please. Go
Wait, you
on.
don't know the meme? Okay.
No, I'm not very up to
Okay.
date with it.
So-
I
Let's
mean,
let's just first talk about this, and then we can talk about the Johnny Depp trial, even
Okay,
though it's
okay.
not really on topic. But who gives? Who
So,
gives a shit?
so I got these giant ass Elden Ring boss speakers, okay? And I was like, okay, let's start this shit. Go on Crunchyroll, turn on ExpressVPN, not sponsored by the way, and just get this started, right? I was super motivated. I see skeleton isekai. I'm like, oh my god, this screams trash, right? Full on volume on these boxes, never tested them. I wanted to test them on good ass audio. Start my timer, press play. The first thing I hear throughout my whole house, fucking 2 women moaning as loud as it gets, and it's a fucking grape scene without the G, and I was like, bro, calm the fuck on.
That's what you get. That's like I feel that is karma for something you've done.
for my mega boxes that I just was so happy to have, and for working out, I don't know. But yeah, no, never dropped an anime as fast as this. Don't watch the skeleton isekai if you like. I thought, why is there a sensitive topic warning the first second, and before I could like reason or before I could put my mind on it, because like I was doing workout, I was not on the play button, yeah. So
your oxygen was going into the muscles, not to your brain.
Yeah. It's not like I had the button before me, so I wasn't like, wait a second, like it's sensitive topic warning, like frame 1, like that's the first thing you see, and then the moaning starts frame 2. Like, wow, that's a nice ass warning you have there, skeleton man. Yeah. So never dropped an anime as fast, and that's just a funny story I had. Fortunately, no one was in the house, so only my neighbors heard it. But I mean,
nice.
that's bad enough, I think. Should have closed the windows. That's why I close the windows every time I do workout now.
Hey, Editing Benji here. Just a quick heads up. Everything that comes after this was recorded a week later due to the fact that we decided to scrap a big part of the episode because we were quite unhappy with it. Don't be surprised by the fact that we bring up some stuff that was already talked about in the episode, and we hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for your patience.
Yahoo!
So I've already talked about this with Alex a bit, but I've decided that I should start watching SpyxFamily regularly because I'm afraid of spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Someone could also say maybe spoilers.
Thank you, Benji.
What? I don't think I got the one.
Spiders.
I thought spider. Like
Oh,
spider.
no.
Like the mob
okay.
from Minecraft.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, spiders
only
are
making it
invented
worse.
by Notch. Okay. Sorry.
No, but anyway, I'm having a great time so far. I really like it does go a bit fast though, I feel like. For
You
like
think?
yeah. I have this impression that Lloyd, like, I know it's the entire point that he starts to love his fake family and shit. But by episode 4 he's like already showing a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would be the kind of guy to do that, because he was super proud of his spy status and shit. But other than that, I don't really have any
I
criticism
can see
about
that,
it.
but I would argue that it's not like he has to, like, the emotion is changing his mission right now. It's not like the emotion is influencing his mission right now.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever like unemotional, because if you compare it like to something like you know the stereotypical anime spy where he's a silent, cool ass edgy protagonist that has no emotion and later on develops emotion. He was never that type. Like in the first like three minutes of the show, he literally shows so much emotion when he realizes he has to build his own family. He like spits out his coffee and stuff like that. So he's goofy.
Maybe
as a spy.
maybe what I meant was that he puts his fake family before the outcome of the mission.
Does he though?
Well, he goes to great lengths to make Anya happy. That I'm.
Oh, you mean because of the castle thing?
Yeah.
No, not because of the castle thing. That like if you turn the definition around, you can definitely like say Anya needed that to go to school, so that's kind of part of the mission.
Yeah,
What
I mean
meant-
that's kind of the point, because it's Anya is basically because he doesn't know how to deal with kids. Is kind of the joke, and he's just fulfilling. He's just at the point where, as a dad, he just needs to fulfill her every wish, so she doesn't endanger the mission.
He gets
basically.
on her good side.
Okay, but I actually because I I don't feel like that way. I like it a bit like
Comical.
a bit faster. Then maybe let's say something like Kaguya, like that's a bit too slow for me. Because I really like the pacing of Spy Family. But I get what you mean, because I think a better example was when he started hitting, the table after
Yeah,
after
that was
Oh yeah,
that was when I noticed this trend. Like when he goes to present himself with Yora and Anya to the headmasters of the school, and he breaks the table in half. That's where this thought popped into my head.
I can see why you would think that way, and I do agree with you that probably if you go in with the idea that Lloyd is this super spy who doesn't give a shit about anything, then I would agree. But how I always saw it, especially with like the later chapters that have been released in the manga so far, where they go a bit more into his backstory and stuff. He's more of he's grown up in kind of a cutthroat world, you could say. In like the spy industry, and of course you don't get attached and stuff, but I don't think he was ever really established as a character that especially likes his job or likes the way he has to do things. And I think the whole point of the series is kind of to show like him as this character who's trying to be cold, warming up to this found family, and acknowledging that warmth and like happiness is something that he wants in his life.
So you're saying he always was a good, like a person with a good heart?
Yeah,
but he just
I mean that's
grew
kind of
up
established.
He grew up to be cold.
Yeah, because he has to be.
Okay.
But another example, like in Stevie's favor, because I personally think it doesn't bother me. I like it a bit faster paced, and it's not the most realistic, but I don't think that's what SpyxFamily is trying to do with spies.
Me neither.
But if you look at something like in favor of Stevie, his first relationship that went on for 2 years in the very first episode that was shown was like with this girl, and she was trying to ask him to marry him, and he just lets her go and tells her bye, fuck off, whatever. And he's literally with his family for I think 2 months, and he already gets attached. Like that's a bit strange, right?
I would argue though that first it's kind of established that she's just not a very interesting person, and he's been playing with her more. And second, it's an establishing shot to show that he is the super spy that is infiltrating, and yeah, like you say, that doesn't care about other people's feelings. That's why I don't necessarily disagree with Stevie. I'm not saying that it's not been established that he's kind of cold, but I would argue that it's the point of the series to show this development, even though you may feel it's a bit rushed.
You know what, though? I just realized something while we were talking about this. Actually, the development for, like, the affection for Anya makes more sense, because it's already established in the first or second episode that he kind of sees himself in Anya.
Yeah.
So he already has, like, a point where he can grab on and build a relationship on it. Mm-hmm. And in fact, if I remember correctly, his interaction with Yor is a bit slower, in fact, than with Anya.
Yeah,
like he gets way more defensive about Yor. I mean about Anya than Yor at first.
Also, what I also would argue is that I think it's the second episode where he almost abandons Anya because he thinks like the mission has failed already or something like that.
True.
And he like wants
because he kind of tries to get rid of her. Yeah, and I don't know. I think he kind of is going for that, but the fact that Anya can like read minds, and the fact that she is kind of how his younger self was. And how he kind of he can relate to her, and she's a kid. He is not normally used to dealing with small children. So I mean I think we're also like analyzing this way too deeply already, because
like I said, I don't think like that's what Tatsuya Endo tries to do in SpyxFamily.
In in the end, I think it's this supposedly cold character that warms up to his family, I guess. To his
Yeah,
fake
yeah.
family. So
It's not that deep, bro.
I see where you come from, and maybe I would agree with you. But honestly, I don't particularly care that he's warms up to her so fast. Because like you as the audience also warm up to her so fast, so I can like understand.
Okay, facts.
Yeah. No, yeah. Either way, even if like your point, I would agree with your point. I don't think it would change my view on the series. So
yeah, I feel the same. I don't think it's that bad where it impacts my enjoyment of the plot, I guess.
yeah.
Anyway, I really like SpyxFamily. I just like SpyxFamily. I love the anime adaptation.
Yeah, I love it as well, despite this nitpicky flaw I just found out about, I guess.
Yeah, it's fair. We all have our weird criticisms, like I do with Anya's voice actress. I recently started watching Trigun. So have any of you watched Trigun?
Never
I
heard
have
of
not
it.
watched, but I've heard. Wait, never. Yeah, okay. It's serious, but I've heard of it.
I mean, I would argue that Trigun isn't very like it's. I don't think it's very widespread. I don't think it's very well known. I can understand that Stevie would never have heard about
No,
it.
it's a very anime boomer thing.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
If you've been in the anime industry if you're in the anime fandom in the community for quite some time, you know Trigun, but like with all the new shonen releases and stuff like that, old anime get way more overshadowed. So yeah.
So the thing is, you guys remember? I mean, I know Alex watched it. I don't know about Stevie. But,
No, I didn't watch
Stevie-
Trigun.
No,
sorry.
not Trigun. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about the Anime Man best anime of all time video where he asked like 100 YouTubers about their favorite anime.
I watched a part of it.
Oh, okay. So I've been thinking about watching Trigun for quite some time, and that video kind of convinced me because it was on like the favorite list of some of the people, which kind of surprised me because I didn't expect it to be there. Anyways, so going in, I was kind of expecting a typical kind of shonen thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which it still kind of is. It's still very typical shonen, I'd say, from how it's structured. But story-wise, I think it's a bit different. So, to give a brief overview, Trigun is, I think it's like sci-fi post-apocalyptic. I'm not quite sure because it's never stated where we are in like time or place.
Mm-hmm.
But the setting of Trigun is this kind of desert, Wild West wasteland, I guess, where there are small communities built around some pretty big, weird machines that just look like giant lamps, I guess.
That sounds like Mad Max.
Yeah, it's very Mad Max in the setting. It's like pretty much for the most part it's like open desert.
Yeah.
And people like move around between these. There's these giant kind of sand crawler ship thingies that transport people. It's really cool. I'm really interested in the setting. I don't know very much about it though. I'm like 7 episodes in, and it hasn't shown a lot of its cards, I guess. So, like, you start out by following these 2 women. They're kind of representatives of this insurance company, and their objective is to find this guy called Vash the Stampede, which is like he's a legendary outlaw that has been just destroying everything in his wake, and they're trying to like find him and break a deal with him so he doesn't just destroy everything. It's kind of a weird premise. Because like the company is losing immense amounts of money because people want their insurance paid because their stuff gets destroyed by Vash.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never seen like two characters that are representatives of like a big company, and that's their motive for doing anything. It's I don't know. It's weird. Um,
That's like Kengen Ashura.
what what
keep-
happens in Kengen
You
Ashura?
keep finding
Okay.
all of these comparisons while
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
Mad
know many of them.
Max mixed with Kengen Ashura. Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about Trigun first, and I can
Yeah,
talk about how
yeah.
it's similar.
So like they kind of like the first episode is about them like trying to find this guy called Vash the Stampede, and like very soon they run into like a big gang leader who like has a giant fucking boomerang thingy that he can throw and destroy stuff, and they think he is Vash, while like obviously like the main character is also there for some reason, who's like involved with this, and like they get into a crossfire, and like the whole joke kind of the early episodes is that no one believes that the main character is Vash because he's just such a goofball, just
Yeah.
such an idiot. He's like he. When you look at the design of the character, you're like, oh, this is like the typical cool guy anime character, and that's kind of what I expected going in. I expected like a Alucard, I guess.
Yeah, because
they
he yeah, with the two guns, yeah, he looks like a
they,
badass.
they share like some design stuff. So I expected that, and what I got instead was this very shonen, almost like Luffy from One Piece kind of guy.
Yeah,
he's
very
more,
naive.
You could say he's not necessarily naive. I
But
think
I
would-
mean naive in like a funny sense, you know, like
Yeah.
this childlike innocence that in his humor.
yeah,
like
he's
Luffy
like a
has.
combination that maybe Luffy's not a. I think Luffy is too much of like an airhead. He's kind of stupid as well.
Mm.
With him, he's not stupid. He's just like very laid back, I guess.
Maybe
He's kind of a combination for Spike from Bebop and Luffy, I guess.
Or maybe Edward from Full Metal Alchemist. He's a bit serious, but he's
Yeah,
also a
yeah.
goofball.
You can imagine him being like a combination out of Edward from Full Metal Alchemist and Spike from Bebop.
Yeah, okay, I get his
But
character.
even sillier than Edward, because he's not taking himself seriously at all, kind of. And he's just this goofball, and no one really thinks that he is Vash the Stampede. And like the first few episodes are just the women like going around trying to find this guy, and they just keep running into Vash until like eventually it is revealed that he is actually the legendary gunman. And it's kind of implied that he's not really such an evil dude because he just really does good things. He's like a good guy, but he also seems to dislike killing people, so he doesn't kill anyone. And I don't really know where the story is going yet because all of the episodes so far have. It's kind of like Bebop in that way, where all of the episodes aren't really connected for the most part. So there's this overarching plot, but all of the episodes are contained, kind of. They are contained arcs where like stuff gets resolved, small problems that are resolved by Vash and the crew, I guess. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far, and like the characters are really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is a bit dated though.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, like Cowboy Bebop is dated as well, but still people love it.
No,
would you
I
say
think I think it's dated in a different way. Because like with
Okay.
Bebop, you watch that anime and it's like it looks really good still, even though it has this like old style of animation and feeling.
Yeah, but I think that's charming in Bebop. You're right.
Yeah.
The
It's
style
like, I
works.
love it. But for Trigun, I think they didn't. I guess they didn't have such like not as big as a budget. Like I think they didn't have as big a budget because some of the animation does look a bit weird. Also, like the style looks a bit strange with like the proportions. Sometimes the faces look a bit strange. Like sometimes the animation is really like basic, where it's really obvious that they draw just a still image and don't really do anything
Yeah,
with
and
it.
just keyframe animated or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some weird animation in there, but it's not to the point where I'm just annoyed by it. It's kind of unpleasant sometimes. It gets in the way, but it's not like too bad. And also like, the style of writing is not. It's not the best. Like, because with Bebop, the writing is really good, so you can kind of excuse some of the weirder visual stuff because you have really good characters and really good writing and really good jokes and stuff. But for this, it's kind of a bit more typical shonen, I guess. It's not. It's not too bad. It does take itself kind of seriously, but it's like it's a bit dated, a bit weird. I don't really know how to describe it. Something just doesn't 100% click with me when it comes to the writing. I don't know. Do you get that feeling sometimes when you watch older stuff?
I haven't watched anything that hasn't come out before the year 2000. I think besides Initial D.
What's about Initial D would you say convinced you to watch it even though it's older?
Our friend's recommendation, of course, and the memes. I like.
But was that it? Like,
Oh, and basically, like, it's
No,
funny.
I don't think that
funny
can
car
be
and
it.
Eurobeat, yes.
like 100 episodes? You'll watch like 100 episodes just because it's
No,
it's
I
meming?
I came in for the memes and I stayed for
Okay.
for,
Yeah, that's what I
the
wanted to
good
know. Why did you
music,
stay?
the good written characters. Although I didn't appreciate them when I watched it only in post. Weirdly enough. But like Initial D's also came out over almost 15 years, so it like the at least the
Yeah.
visual stuff gets unoutdated, you could say, by the later parts.
Oh, so you would say it's not like comparable because like it's like watching One Piece. Like the first 300 episodes are
And,
really
yeah,
like
and the one that
crude
came out
watching it
yesterday,
now.
It's like,
Yeah, it gets updated over time.
yeah.
I see.
I see. So you would say Penny definitely Trigun would benefit from a remake.
I think so, because I mean, some of the animation is okay. There's just like these few parts where you notice like they didn't have the budget to keep it up to par with the rest,
Oh,
which
okay.
is kind of sad. I wouldn't say it's like necessary for that it necessarily needs a remake, because like I haven't watched through it yet. I've only seen 7 or 8 episodes of the 25, which I did not expect. I thought Trigun would be longer, but then I found out it was 25 episodes, and I was like, oh, let's go.
No, I knew that. But I thought, because I see people comparing, like you said, Trigun to Cowboy Bebop a lot.
Yeah, I can see
then I
how
thought,
the comparison works.
Yeah, and I thought like it's also in terms of like visuals, because I feel like when I would suggest a Cowboy Bebop remake, like many people would be turned off because it's like the old style visuals, almost a VHS. I know it's not VHS, but it
has
makes
like
it feel
a certain charm.
It adds to the story. So I thought it was the same with Trigun.
I feel with like Cowboy Bebop, there's this grimy, like old vintage feeling about it that I really enjoy. And
yeah, almost like Star Warsy, like vintage.
Yeah, the thing is though, like Cowboy Bebop at certain points has, there is never a real dip in animation quality. There's certain parts that are less well animated, but for the most part, it's like really good, and certain parts are really cool. And it also has like a lot of visual spectacle with like with the spaceships and seeing even just the still images, because sometimes in Bebop they use still images of the spaceships and like keyframe them to move them, but in space it kind of works if you're far enough away, and you can see these cool like spaceships and space stations from the outside, and that gives it a lot of visual spectacle, and it looks really, really cool and beautiful. Trigun doesn't really have that for the most part, because there's like a few things that are like, there are cool establishing shots for this big thingy, like these big sand ships. But I think that's pretty much the only part I've seen so far where I'd say, the visuals are kind of worth it. For the most part, it's just characters on the floor, you know?
Yeah. No, I get
how-
that.
What do you mean characters on the floor?
Not on the
You-
floor, maybe like characters that are standing on ground
Yeah,
somewhere, maybe in a
static.
city or in a desert, and like talking to each other.
Okay.
Or
Static
there
background.
are some fights, and the fights are decently animated, but they're also nothing like worth
Yeah.
getting too excited about nowadays.
No, totally. Like, I thought about this like just the other day, but I feel like old school like anime style, like 20 years ago, it fits with certain themes, but with others it just doesn't fit. And I feel like Trigun, like the more shonen aspect added to it in comparison to Cowboy Bebop, kind of defeats the purpose of the style in that sense, the old school style, and also the fact that it's like you said, it's not animated that well. But I feel like when I watch a show like
I would like to add, when I say not animated that well, it's like competent. It doesn't destroy the thing for me. It's just
okay.
sometimes it looks a bit weird for certain small parts that are like unimportant, and that's why they probably didn't receive as much budget. But like it sticks out. That's what I'm saying. It's not like bad. It's not like I'm sitting there, oh, this looks so shit.
No. You've made that clear. Like I interpreted it the way that like it was
Okay.
it was acceptable, right? Otherwise, I don't think you would have even watched it.
No, like to defend the series though, I haven't dropped it yet, and I'm excited to continue it because I think there is something interesting buried there. I think I need to judge it after I've finished it, but so far it hasn't really like wooed me yet.
Yeah,
guess.
I've heard
It didn't-
like towards there's a certain like twist or something, and it gets a bit convoluted, but it gets also more interesting. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I can see that. Because there's like some stuff that has been teased throughout the episodes where I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere. But it's honestly, I feel like the pace is a bit too slow. Because like, I think it's the same argument we had with Monster, where you think the pace is really good. And I feel for my like, I know people love the pace of Monster, and they feel like every episode is worth talking about. And I don't really feel that way. I feel like Monster is too long. I kind of feel the same with this. I think some people really enjoy this pace. I just personally would like to for it to go a bit faster.
Yeah, well, though I have to say it's not like I said the pace of Monster isn't slow, because don't get me wrong, like people around the internet actually criticize Monster a lot because it's such a slugfest. But also, but the thing about Monster is that I can see a world where Monster has a faster pace. Like it's almost like the series works best with a very slow pace, you know. So I feel like it fits even though it has the slow pace. But I wouldn't say it doesn't have a slow pace. Like I can't recommend a heavy action fan, like a heavy action shonen fan, Monster in good faith, you know, like.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to maybe even check it out in the future, because I've been I watched I think the first 2 episodes a long time ago because I wanted to get into it, but then, you know, kind of didn't watch
Didn't
again.
really
I
click?
can't. Yeah, no, it's not. I just forgot about it.
Okay.
Also, what did surprise me, like when I saw the female characters in the artwork, I was like, they look kind of non-typical for like shonen female characters, and they are kind of very non-typical, especially for their time. Because like, yes, she is kind of this. One of them is kind of this tsundere responsible character, and the other one is like kind of dumb and gullible. But at the same time, that one that's kind of dumb, she's also like seems to be very aware of her surroundings somewhat, and she has like this. She's really big and muscular. It's really like untypical for shonen, and I'm really enjoying it. And they're also like a fun bunch. Like there's just a fun bunch of characters. I feel.
I feel like when you're going to if you're going to watch Jujutsu Kaisen Zero in cinemas with us, if that happens and you have to watch, Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, I think one particular thing about Jujutsu Kaisen that I really like is like the female characters. Because the female characters are actual good shonen female characters that are actually strong and have ambition, not like 90% of the other shonen
not like
characters.
Nami.
Yeah, not like Nami or something. Yeah.
Gosh, I fucking hate Nami.
Yeah, she gets she just has boobs and money.
But the money joke was so good. Like it even worked at the start. I think Nami at the start was a way better character because she
her backstory was good.
Who exactly we're talking about?
We're talking about
One
Nami
Piece.
from One Piece.
Oh, okay.
She's the orange-haired one. I forgot you didn't watch One Piece yet.
No, I didn't.
So like,
should we
the whole point? Do we want to go on this short tangent, or do we want to do something else?
Oh, I know this chick from the looks of her.
I think even if you don't watch anime, you know Nami.
You know her, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to put the name out there. Then maybe if someday someone is willing to watch Kengen Ashura, so maybe you guys are more familiar with Shimatsu no Valkyrie, which recently got a Netflix adaptation, which wasn't
Wait,
like
that's the one with the gods fighting each other.
Yeah. And I feel like it's heavily inspired by Kengen Ashura because Kengen Ashura has the similar concept. It's just all about fighting, about like big muscular guys having a standoff. And it's a
JoJo. It's JoJo.
No. It's a tournament arc.
Okay.
So it's JoJo with a tournament arc and without super
powers.
Well, okay, no, let's not go that far.
Super muscle powers.
But let's say there is a focus on martial arts. If you compare it with JoJo, like you definitely see that there is more focus on different martial arts. There are wrestlers. There are karate people. I'm just
you ran out of martial arts, really quick.
There are Jackie Chan's. There are Chun Li's. There's everything.
There's Ryu's and Ken's.
No, and I know it's not similar. I just thought the fact because you told me he was this representative of this corporation, and there are two representatives, and from Trigun, and Kengen Ashura is basically. So there's this huge underground tournament, with like it's not in public. It's all done on the black market, and there are these big ass corporations like Sony. It's just not called Sony; it's called Sonix or something. And
phony.
McDonald's, phony or something. Panaponic or
Whack-Donald's.
Whack-Donald's.
Which anime was it that called it Whack-Donald's?
That the devil is a part-timer.
Oh, okay, right.
And basically, in this world, big corporations don't make don't trade. They don't have deals or something.
They don't do stocks. They do.
They do bets on people. Basically, they have their representative in this tournament, and for example, if McDonald's wins this tournament, McDonald's can get some shares of Panasonic, depending on the deal.
UT, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a weird it's a weird.
Hello, I would like to acquire your business. Let us do battle to the death.
Yeah, it's really absurd. It channels this like JoJo Baki energy, but it's also really, really intense and has some really cool moments. if you are like if you want the opposite of monster, basically what we said earlier, if you want a very action heavy packed tournament arc for a manga, then go with Kengen Ashura. Like the fights are super hype. It's the predecessor, in my opinion, to Shimatsu no Wakure, if you have seen that, because I know in recent times that has blown up, which is just basically the same thing, just with gods and humans fighting against each other. Then I highly recommend Kengen Ashura. And just the fact, that you told me this, that in Trigun there's this guys that there's two guys that represent two big corporations. So I thought it was similar to Kengen Ashura.
For like, yeah, I can see that. What I meant, why it was so weird for me in Trigun, was the fact that they're not like representatives of like a secret association, or they're like, because there's a lot of anime where characters are representatives of like an important part of the universe, kind of. But no, they're literally just like fucking representatives of a normal as insurance company. Which I found kind of stupid.
Well, in Kengen Ashura, it's even more stupid because they don't even do anything close to that business, like it's
True.
not. So it's even weird. Well, just to get the American stereotype out there, the McDonald's fighter was an obese Asian kid. So
But is there like a Nintendo fighter?
yeah.
What is he like?
Oh no, was the Nintendo fighter the obese Asian kid, or was it the McDonald's one? I forgot. I need to reread it. It's been like 2 years since I've read it.
Is the overweight American kid? So the
Yeah,
Asian
probably.
one must be Nintendo's.
The most funny thing about that character
Oh
is
no,
like,
he's like really fat and really muscular.
A sumo
Yeah.
fighter.
I think that's because I just yeah, it's called Nintendo.
Oh yeah, Nintendo. So he was from Nintendo. And the funny thing about this character is he was like a super pro. Like he was the what's they called, the humans that live in isolation and have their own own village.
Oh right.
That still exists. That still exists, like humans that live in the jungle and are isolated.
Yeah, just like
Tribes.
isolated
tribes.
Tribes, yeah. He's basically one of those. He's the strongest of those isolated tribes in somewhere in the Brazilian jungles or something. And Nintendo.
Why does he look Asian though?
Yeah, maybe he was then in some Asian jungle. I don't know. I don't remember. But I just know Nintendo just found him, hired him, brought him to Japan, and he was like, I need to fight. After like two days in Japan, he just decides he likes video games too much and he likes fried chicken too much, so he becomes fat as hell. And yeah. Basically, he channels his fat, and because first he was just, a muscular, well-trained fighter. Now he's a muscular, well-trained fighter with more weight to it. So he's even more OP in that contest. But he loses mobility. Which, I mean, it's kind of true, though. Like,
yeah, body weight is a major factor in martial
boxing,
arts. Yeah. I heard that the anime wasn't as good for Kengen Ashura. What exactly happened there?
Well, it's the same thing with Shimatsu no Valkyrie. Like Netflix hit and it just didn't.
Oh, it's made by Netflix.
Yeah, it was 3D animated. It's even worse because the art was like really good and really detailed. And yeah, it's just bad 3D animation, and you can save. That's basically all I have to tell you, I think. Just bad 3D animation. I don't know if Shimatsu no Valkyrie was only like 50% 3D or if it wasn't 3D, but I just know that Shimatsu no Valkyrie got the same treatment. It just got bad animation, which is a shame. Like I don't get sometimes how Netflix distributes their funds. And because on one hand, like they revived this one very important but also kind of nowadays niche IP, there was Devilman Crybaby.
Oh yeah.
and then they threw a whole lot of budget there. But then if you have this newer, like more hyped IPs, like Shimatsu no Valkyrie was everywhere when the Netflix adaptation hit. They just they kind of threw it out of the window.
Shit,
yeah. So it's kind of weird how that works, but yeah.
It's weird, yeah. I mean, Netflix has been financially. I wouldn't say they're struggling, but they're like claiming they're struggling at least.
What even happened?
They've.
Well,
sorry.
Well, I also heard that like Netflix lost a lot of shares or stocks. Or
well,
whatever,
it's
I'm
just
not even
because
sure.
COVID is kind of over.
That as well, but also the fact that they've just been funding so much bullshit the last few years.
Have you
so much? They put so much like budget into weird ass shows that no one wants to watch, that are like cheaply produced and just not worth the time. And then in between they get some real good, like really good hitters like Squid Game or Arcane.
Yeah. Did you see the Moist Critical video about it?
Yeah, he made a really good video about it.
He explained it really well.
Arcane
I've seen that video as well.
Netflix situation?
No,
the
Netflix
situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And apparently they're planning on like bringing in ads into the service, so you need to watch ads to use Netflix to watch Netflix.
No way, right? It's
so
a
you're paying for.
subscription.
Yeah. But they're like, bro, you still gotta watch.
It's like
ads.
Switch Online, where you pay for the online, but it doesn't get any better.
Yeah. And honestly, also they're trying to like crack down on sharing your account with people, where you literally have to be on the same Wi-Fi, like every few days or something like that, or else your thingy gets blocked. I don't know. They're just cracking
like
down on everything and making the service worse.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
But like, I never really thought about it, but how do you stop as a company sharing accounts? Like,
it has to do with like IP tracking and stuff.
yeah, it has to do with
Yeah,
IP tracking, but you can
but
always
you
claim
kind
it's
of
your
can't.
second computer or something.
You kind of can't. It's really difficult, but to an extent you can do it.
You can make it more difficult.
You can make it more difficult, exactly.
Another thing I really wanted to touch on, just 20th episode on something a bit more random, a bit more lighthearted. So, Hunter x Hunter fans, after 4 years, finally, we got a new chapter, I think. Or, I don't know.
I think.
No, because the thing is that that's like really confusing. On Twitter, I don't know if it was just announced a new chapter or if it already has been released. But basically, the author of Hunter x Hunter, Togashi, posted one picture of a frame of a paper, 1.3 million likes, okay? And in that picture, I think because it was in Japanese, but what I've gathered from the comments, he basically said Hunter x Hunter will continue now. I'm after 4 years, I'm back on my hiatus. And then he posted like the most fucking ugliest tree ever. Like I'm really not a good artist, but I could paint that tree. And it got like 700,000 retweets and likes, and that's a lot. That's like how much the Chainsaw Man trailer got. And everybody, like every Hunter x Hunter fan on this planet, even if you're not a Hunter x Hunter fan, started, gushing over this one lame ass picture of a tree. Wait, let me see if I can find it just to give.
This is not. No, I just searched it up. It's he clearly took it with his phone while it was falling on the floor. Come on. No way. Like
it was actually his brother drawing, and the power went out, so like he fucked up. The brother, we mean. So it was. He didn't even look at it.
Oh wait, I can just go on my Twitter. I'm stupid. No, I found it. I found it.
Looks shit. I just think like the camera is shaking while taking the picture.
Okay, here. This is the tree.
Here it is.
So he just sent this picture, and everybody starts falling in love with this one picture just because Togashi finally awakened from his 4-year-long slumber.
I mean, I would argue this is not that bad.
No, it's like not bad, but I'm saying maybe I
It's
exaggerated.
like nothing exciting. It's just
Yeah,
nothing.
no,
It's like why?
I
Why the tree?
exaggerated for the comedic value, but it's like it's not something worth 750,000 likes and like everybody loving this picture so much. Like people started comparing Hunter x Hunter fans to League of Legends players touching grass. No, I just found it funny. Like I can even be bad because I'm excited if Hunter x Hunter gets more chapters. I know it will never get an anime adaptation, but just knowing that Hunter x Hunter has even the slightest chance of somehow ending makes me so excited because it's literally my favorite shonen.
What will end
So,
first,
see-
Hunter x Hunter or One Piece?
Yeah. I mean, so this picture of a tree, you know,
I'm pretty convinced One Piece, to be honest. Because
what?
I would laugh so hard if he like publishes maybe, I don't know, 10 chapters and then goes into hiatus again. Since we're at like stuff never ending, how do you guys feel about the fact that Berserk is never going to get an ending? So for those that don't know, Berserk is like one of the most legendary manga of all time.
Yeah, it inspired a lot.
And recently, the mangaka has died of illness.
Well, recently.
If Berserk
recently,
really
like,
doesn't
it's
ring a
been, like,
bell,
half a year, I think. No?
if Berserk really doesn't
Yeah.
ring a bell, then it's the series that inspired like Dark Souls and Elden Ring.
It's very influential. It's very big and really,
Yeah.
really good. And you should definitely check it out. Even though I just said the mangaka has died and it will never get an ending, there is a very good Super Eye-Patch video about it. Why should
Two,
you
actually.
should still two? Why you,
Yeah, well, the
yeah,
first
but he
one.
made one like now after the mangaka has died, and why you should still check the manga out because
Yeah.
like, it's amazing. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about series? Not necessarily just Berserk, but just let's say there's another series that never. Let's say Hunter x Hunter never gets an ending.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's a shame, but also like I'm here for the journey, not just the ending. So if the journey already makes me feel so much, then even if it doesn't end, I can appreciate it. Even though I'm not saying that having an end is better. That's clear. Like I think that's clear to everyone. Having a great ending, having a great conclusion is like the best thing ever. But even if we don't have an ending, it just speaks so much to series like Berserk and Hunter x Hunter that it just has generated this whole mass of people that love it, that keep collecting merch even though it will never end, and it doesn't progress. Like people still love it to this day, and it just speaks so much to that series, to those two series, especially because I mean those are the two most known. And I guess what was the samurai manga called? I forgot it.
Vagabond.
Vagabond, yeah, thank you. Because the mangaka was also on a very, very long hiatus. So Vagabond fans, Hunter x Hunter fans, and Berserk fans. I get them, but I mean it speaks a lot to those series that we still have so much dedication for them.
I'd also say that like long-running manga and anime series that like you don't necessarily build up to the ending. You just have this huge world, this ton of characters, and people fall in love with them. And
Well,
like the phenomenon that are One Piece and other huge works like Berserk and Hunter x Hunter, like the ending isn't so
that important.
I wouldn't say like the ending of Naruto is what's so
Yeah.
good. Nobody would say that.
Yeah, well, I'm
Not that it's finished, but
no,
like,
Naruto
what
is
I mean.
finished.
Boruto still exists.
Yeah,
Well,
but
no,
that's
People
not.
disagree with that one.
That's yeah.
Some people are like Boruto does not
Okay.
exist. I do not know what that is.
I'm sorry.
Stevie, what has been the longest running series that you also are following?
I'm following currently.
Yeah, that you're like, what is the thing you've been reading the longest still?
Kaguya.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes,
I mean, when did the first manga for Kaguya come out?
2015.
Yeah, Kaguya is actually not that old.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's already 7 years old. Fuck.
Yeah.
I remember
Well,
reading the
I've read
first
the
thing of
entirety
that.
of-
Holy fuck. I feel really weird about the prospect of like One Piece ending. Cause like I've heard about it so many times, and like I feel like One Piece is just never going to end. It's just so weird the prospect. Cause
well-
I'm sure it'll end. Like they've been building up to it, but
Yeah.
it's I just cannot imagine. Cause
Your
that
life
has
without
been
One
with
Piece.
that's the first series where it's like this has been with me for all of my life, pretty much.
Yeah, I think I'll get that also, but the thing is about me and One Piece, like, I haven't touched One Piece in like 6 years, while you have kept up with it. So
Yeah. I have like once every 4 months, or like once every 3 months, I catch up with all of the manga chapters that have come out.
yeah, that's actually a good question. Like, what? Well, I don't know if it counts, but no, I don't know. What have I been following so long? There has been some things.
I mean, Bakuman is finished, right?
Yeah. That's finished a long time ago. Like when I started watching it, it was already done.
Well, then I guess probably Hunter x Hunter, if that counts.
Yeah, I don't know if I would count Hunter x Hunter though, because I'm not even up to date with the manga because I just don't want you know, I don't want to ruin my experience.
Isn't it also like I've also heard that the manga increasingly the text takes over the panels more than art does?
Yeah, it's a lot of exposition because he Togashi isn't really in I think he's in a physical state where he can really draw that well because he used to draw really well. It's just because he's in that state right now, where he finds it difficult to draw. And but he's somehow really stubborn, so he doesn't want to hire an assistant. But he just fills the pages with text because you know he can't really draw, but when he draws, he at least wants to put as much story as he can in that. As far as I know. I think that the series that maybe, you know, stuck around the most and then I felt like really strange when it ended, even though like I didn't finish it until like recently. I think it's the Monogatari series because when I first picked it up, was like really early on when I started anime. I just, you know, dropped it, but it always was, you know, in the back of my mind.
I see.
So
yeah, I can see that.
But that's really the closest. And I mean, I guess One Piece, it's just that I haven't kept up, but I'm sure that if one day I will reread One Piece because I mean, when I kind of have time for it and I'm not interested in anything else, I really want to reread One Piece. And I think all the memories will come back, you know. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll also get some existentialism from that.
An existential crisis.
The thing for me with like getting into, you've heard this probably a number of times, but the longer something is, the more daunted I'm to start.
Yeah.
I mean, that's natural,
I
though.
think you're
Like,
not the only person.
I
I think there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there is not a
Like
single person.
I so much want to like understand why people say One Piece is so good. Like, if it's so good and it's so long, it sets itself apart from the rest of the
Yeah.
competition. Clearly,
You know, I think nobody starts One Piece nowadays with. That's also the reason why it's kind of on a decline from the greatest shonen of all
Yeah,
time.
I wanted to mention that exactly. You're referring to the Super Hyper Wolf video, right?
Oh, you've watched it. Nice.
Oh yeah, I watched it. So he broke down the numbers of Shonen Jump, like sales, I think, or like
Yeah, and
the volume sales or something
Yeah.
like that. And like One Piece has been on a like slowly but steady decline in recent years. Not necessarily because like people are not liking what is being released, because like this is one of the most, I think, this is one of the best arcs we've had in a long time. What we're
yeah,
having right now, the Wano arc.
Wano arc, yeah.
Yeah, the Wano arc is like really popular. People really love it, but it just doesn't have the sale increases that other manga have, because people are just too daunted to start it because it's so humongous.
Well, I mean that's just I don't even think that's the fault of One Piece. I just think that's like in
No, it's
human
not.
nature.
That's just a natural.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
even think you're the only one, Stevie, that thinks. I think actually the majority of people think so. I just feel like, because I feel that way, like right,
Same.
because I don't want to go reread a series where I might lose so much time and it isn't even worth it. But for One Piece or for like really great series like Berserk or stuff like that, if it's too daunting, I really say, if it's a masterpiece, you can literally just brute force it and just have to force yourself to pick up, and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's mostly the part of like getting started, because like if you're at the point where you're already like 20 chapters in, then you already have a feeling, oh yeah, this is going somewhere.
Yeah, and I feel like there's not a single person that at least enjoys shonen a bit and starts One Piece and then just doesn't like it. Like One Piece starts off really good as well.
I would argue it has like it doesn't have the best start, but it has a good start. It's not like other series like JoJo, for example, that has kind of a bad start. As many would argue, and then gets better. One Piece starts okay. It's like a good 7 to 8.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps ramping up and just keeps going.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even the stuff at the start that was kind of bad gets recontextualized later and like reused in a good way, where you feel like you didn't waste your time on stuff.
And I mean, I've watched the first few episodes of One Piece a few times because I think I rewatched the first like 10 episodes about like 6 or 7 times, because I always want to re-get into the anime, because I started with the anime, but Toei is Toei and it's just so bad. You need to read the manga. But I feel like even though it's just the first episode, just having Zoro just from the get-go is just such a blessing, because
it's a
he
big
and
brain
Luffy are not without reason like fan favorites. I feel like Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji are like the fan favorites of One Piece that everybody loves, and just having those three like perfect, like super lovable characters at the very beginning is just such a helper for newcomers that I feel like.
I mean, Sanji comes in quite late, I think, doesn't he?
Around episode 40. But I mean, that's still early for One Piece standards. I would count everything below episode 100 is still like early.
Yeah.
Also, minor problem that only I suffer from. I really prefer reading my manga physically, and I'm willing to spend the money to read it physically. And One Piece has a lot of volumes, so that's a lot
Takes
of money.
up your whole shelf.
Well, I don't even think that's the problem, because I'm just saying, you could get like 10 volumes and then wait a bit and then get another 10. I think the problem is more that they're just not available.
Or they take up a lot of space. I wouldn't know where to
Yeah,
put them.
but
to be honest.
I'm imagining that collecting more than 100 volumes of manga will get you with some holes in there, and collecting them all. Like I think Sea Dog is trying to collect everyone to finally read them. Is such a pain. And you know that guy. You know if he says it's a pain, it means a lot because he's a YouTuber, so he got that cash.
And he's a lazy
he's
fuck. He's just lazy.
He's lazy, and he will do anything if he has, if even if it costs like one volume $100, he'll buy that shit, So
Yeah.
just imagine trying to collect all of One Piece physically. First off, it's expensive as fuck. Also, it's very time consuming. I probably think it takes more time just collecting it than reading it at this point.
Yeah.
So I would just suggest, buy the newer ones. Try to read One Piece like the first few volumes digitally, but because I can imagine that those are the hardest to get, and then just get 10 volumes at a time. Like that's probably my suggestion.
Yeah, like not that I'd have like what was the one volume cost? Let's say €6. I don't have 600 plus euros.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Just pick up, like 10 volumes at a time, and over a few years you've read One Piece, and I mean, yeah. I think One Piece will continue for another like 5 or more years, so you have all the time in the world to catch up.
He keeps saying he's gonna end it, but like it's really hard to estimate what he means by he's gonna end it soon. Because like soon could be like in another 6 years, or it could be like in 3 years.
Ichiro is like, okay, today I'm going to the cinema soon. He invites you in 2027.
Yeah.
Like his standards for time are like are like privilege time, aristocrat time. So yeah.
So that's gonna conclude this episode. Thank you so much for checking in with us. If you've stayed so far, then I think you quite like our fucking ramblings, and I would encourage you to subscribe. Please also leave a comment if you have any feedback or ideas of what we could talk about, and
we'll read comments.
Thank you so much for being here.
We'll read comments in the next episode as well.
Yeah.
So that will be exciting. So if you have something and you want, a shout out or, interact with us, we'll make, if we even get more comments, then we'll make a whole segment out of it where we read comments. But for the meantime, just leave a comment, it doesn't cost anything, and it's funny to read them.
It won't go unnoticed.
Yeah. Thank you again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.